The whistle goes and we're back into the hunt as the drivers get themselves underway. And juniors are going to be even closer than cadets were after yesterday's practice session. We have absolutely no idea who is going to get pole position. We had 3 very different drivers topping the practice sessions yesterday. But those top 3 drivers in the championship are still the top 3 at the sharp end. Harry Graham, Callum Gunning and Dylan Reed. But behind them, there is an absolute frenetic charge as the drivers are basically covered by about half a second from the front of the grid to the back around this Hooton Park circuit. So goodness knows who's going to get pole position. It could be one of about 9 drivers from the basis of yesterday's practice session. So the drivers are currently just getting themselves into position on the track, trying their best to get a tow wherever they possibly can. The tow is worth an awful lot of time in this qualifying session, and they know it. Some of them are just trying to run in tyres and brakes to get themselves up to speed. But the birelART Junior session is definitely going to be particularly close, very tight and very frenetic. So the drivers will obviously be pushing very hard indeed to make sure they can get the best of their weekend. And it all comes from this initial qualifying session. They've done an absolutely amazing job thus far. Great to see so many people watching along on the stream, cheering on their favourites. The first flying lap comes in and it's Dylan Reed, a whisker in front of Nicky Taylor, Tom Harvey, Morgan Cole, Harry Graham and Callum Gunning in the top 6. Alicia Parmowski should go quite well here. She's got experience of racing and testing on this circuit, whereas a lot of the drivers this weekend have had to learn the circuit for the very first time. It's the birelART UK Series first visit to Hooton Park. So they've obviously got to do a good job right from the off. There's Nicky Taylor, the number 4, who's been searching for that elusive first win in birelART UK for the majority of this season. He was the 4th seeded driver last year. It's been a very tough season in 2018, but he is now the fastest. Look at that, 0.005 of a second faster than Harry Graham, championship leader. Dylan Reed is 3rd. Morgan Cole is a brilliant 4th place. Then it is Ben Gartside, Sam Cunliffe, Tom Harvey, Zach Parkinson, Tom Davison and Jack Rigg. In front of Alicia Parmowski, well, Scott Huntley comes up into the top 5. They had some difficulties yesterday, Scott Huntley, but he is now hopefully getting himself back to the fast part of the weekend, and things should be a lot stronger from there. Top rookie is again Alicia Parmowski. A lot of that down to her prior experience as Morgan Cole goes to the top. Goodness me, Morgan Cole definitely had his Weetabix this morning. He's in there behind Harry Graham and he's using the tow to good advantage. Callum Gunning trying to do likewise in the middle of the pack as well. Pick your favourite driver. They're all there in together in a massive long queue, and just like at the Formula 1 at Monza, these guys are making sure that they can get as good a tow as possible because it's really helping in terms of their charge forward. So Morgan Cole, the fastest man, there he is, the 74, a fraction of a second until Dylan Reed goes forward, then so does Harry Graham. So Dylan Reed, and now Sam Cunliffe goes to the top spot, 36.928. So he becomes the first driver in this qualifying session to get into the 36s, a 37.001 for Dylan Reed. Then Graham, Parkinson, Rigg, Baldry, Cole, Whitehouse, Parmowski and Gartside. Now Huntley comes back into the top 5 ahead of Jack Rigg. But the slipstream is absolutely crucial here at Hooton Park. There's Alicia Parmowski. She, of course, is the leading rookie this weekend thus far. Won all 3 races in the rookie category at Glenagos Park and will want to keep that sort of form. Only 0.3 of a second away from pole position as well. She spent the entirety of 2017 testing with that kart rather than racing it, and she's incredibly tall for her age, so she's got an awful long time in the juniors. I think she's still only 12 years of age, Alicia Parmowski, so she's still got a good 3 or 4 seasons of junior racing under her belt to come. And the birelART UK Series, if she keeps going at her current rate, she could end up cleaning up in years to come, pulling a bit of an Ella Stevens or Esme Hawkey, who were in the top 3 of their prospective championships until they moved on. So Alicia Parmowski is the next big thing in birelART UK Series for the female fraternity. And in the top 10, just 0.265 down on Harry Graham, who's now the fastest. Then Cunliffe, Gunning, Reed, Baldry. Then it is Huntley in 6th from Whitehouse, Parkinson, Parmowski and Tom Harvey, who was fastest in the final practice session yesterday. Then Rigg, Gartside, Cole, Sheppy, Taylor down in 15th, but 0.46 behind pole position. That's how close it is. Then Berry, Davison, Brigg and Ramlau, 0.8 of a second in the whole field as Taylor comes up to 7th. Whitehouse in 8th and Berry remains in 16th but improves his time. And now Dylan Brierley in 19th position is 0.8 of a second back from pole position. He's still learning his trade, don't forget, as he only came into juniors at the second round of the championship, having done in the first meeting at Landau as a cadet. But as soon as he came of age, they decided to make the switch to juniors. This man, though, is your championship leader. Harry Graham, just a whisker in front of Toby Baldry in terms of lap times. And he's increased his time now to a 36.695. Cunliffe is third, doing a grand job. Gunning, Reed, Huntley, Rigg, Taylor, Whitehouse, Parkinson. Parmowski in 11th, Harvey in 12th. Then it's Sheppy, Gartside, Cole, Berry. Oh no, Davison up to 16th now. From Berry, Ramlau and Dylan Brierley. The gap is now just 0.7 from the front to the back. That is astonishing how close it is at Hooton Park in the juniors. It's going to be even tougher to figure out who's going to win races this weekend. They're all just trying to knit their way for track position at the moment. Incredibly clean stuff between the juniors, despite the fact they're trying to get a decent lap in. Graham and Reed are waiting for a gap in the traffic. And Cole has come back in a third place. Really good stuff from Morgan Cole today. He's got so much confidence. And for George Whitehouse, up into fourth place. So Cole and Whitehouse going very well. Cunliffe fifth, Gunning sixth, then Taylor, Reed, Huntley, Rigg, Parmowski, Parkinson, Harvey, Sheppy, Gartside, Davison, Berry, Ramlau and Brierley. Fascinating stuff from these guys as they continue to give us plenty of entertainment. And with just over 3 minutes left of the qualifying, there should be more to come, as Morgan Cole has just used the draft on the back of Nicky Taylor to try and move his way forward. There's less than half a second covering 15 of them out there. Truly spectacular stuff. Really excited to see how the drivers go. Now there is one guy in the field that I haven't yet seen out there with a working transponder. So there's a couple of drivers in the mix who have yet to find their ultimate pace. I'm not entirely sure when we're going to get to see their fast pace come in, and that is the 126 is out there at the moment. Oh, hang on. I'll talk about him in just a moment. Dylan Reed up to 6th place now. 0.213, just a thousandth of a second behind Cunliffe, who is 3 thousandths behind Whitehouse, who is 3 thousandths behind Morgan Cole. That man in third position. So Graham, Baldry, Cole, Whitehouse, Cunliffe at the moment. Reed is 6th from Harvey, Gunning, Taylor and Parmowski, who is solidly in the top 10 and doing a fine job with it actually. But then that is partially down to how brilliant she is being in her rookie campaign, but also largely down to the fact that she has the experience of this track. So Will Vincent is hopefully going to be out there as well. I noticed that he was there trying to get the 126 set up. And Will Vincent will hopefully be joining the fray in time for racing. Not entirely sure what the difficulties are. But Harry Graham now has Dylan Reed in second. Baldry in third from Cole, Whitehouse and Cunliffe. So Dylan Reed has clearly been using the toe to his advantage. There is the 126. There's Will Vincent. So Will Vincent is out there. Not sure what's happening with his transponder though, because it's not picking up his lap times at the moment. So we don't really know where Will Vincent is going to be. I'm guessing he'll have to start the race, sadly, from the back of the grid. Now he's picking up. So now Will Vincent is going to come through this time bound. I can just see him on the timing screen in front of me. So that's going to be there or thereabouts. So we're told that Will Vincent is doing some qualifying laps, but will start the races from the back of the grid because he's got a broken transponder. So that is the order on that one. Graham and Reed look like they're going to resume their title battle from the front of the field. Baldry third, now Gunning up into fourth place again. So Callum Gunning, where is he? The man who dominated the first part of the season, won the first 5 races of 2018, Callum Gunning, the 108. There he is, Callum Gunning, the CGR kart. So Callum Gunning obviously won the first 5 races of the year, the first 3 races at Landau and the first 2 at Clay, before Harry Graham finally started winning races and getting himself back up to speed. And since that point, Callum Gunning has yet to get back on the top spot in 2018. But there's going to be plenty of opportunities to move his way forward. So the battle is going to be interesting as the checkered flag comes out for the session. Harry Graham's definitely going to be pole, and I think we're done and dusted. Reid second, Harvey third, from Gunning, Baldry and Cole in the top 6. He'll be delighted with that. Whitehouse in 7th, Cunliffe in 8th from Nicky Taylor and Joe Sheppy. Although Sheppy's last lap, Scott Huntley's broken into the top 10 with his last lap. So he is 10th along with Nicky Taylor. Then it'll be Joe Sheppy and Alicia Parmowski, Jack Rigg, Zach Parkinson, Ben Gartside, Dylan Bradley, Tom Davison, Lewis Berry and Vijay Ramlal. And the gap from front to back is 0.785. That is really, really impressive from the juniors. They've done an absolutely terrific job over the course of the season as they continue to develop and they continue to move forward. So I'm going to see if I can have a quick word with Harry Graham. A very close qualifying session as Morgan Cole dashes over to the live timing screen to see where he will start from. And he looks pretty happy about it. Top 6 here at Hooton Park is not bad. And considering how close the battles have been recently, 2 men seem to be absolutely happy as Larry this weekend. Morgan Cole and Zach Parkinson, who have really stepped up their game over the last few weeks. And they're starting to look like the racing drivers they know they can be. So let's see if we can get in there with a few drivers. There's Nicky Taylor just getting himself out of the cart. Frustration because yesterday he was a little bit faster in terms of the positions, but the lap times are very close and it's easy for these drivers to struggle to keep up with each other. So the drivers are best, but it's been a very busy day at the office in the Junior 100 Brigade, and it's ridiculously close in juniors now in 2018. It was pretty tight before, but it's going to be even tighter from here on in as the drivers get themselves lined up at scrutineering, ready for the action. But there's a lot of smiling faces down here in the junior paddocks, some who have been very much boosted and improved from their current rate of progression. There's Morgan Cole, the 74.
When you get past that bit there.
So a really impressive performance then from the drivers as they have obviously come very, very close in the qualifying session. But it's been very, very tight all day long. An absolutely amazing run. So the juniors will be coming up a little bit later on, and with the gap being so close, it's very hard to tell who is going to get the best of the qualifying action. And as the senior drivers get themselves ready for the action, the super elites are not far away. Now we head our attentions now into the juniors, which is even closer than we have seen in the previous sessions. Harry Graham managing to grab pole position for the first race of the weekend, but it's ever so close as things currently stand. At the Junior 100 qualifying session, a time of 36.659 for Harry Graham in the 19 degrees Celsius heat from earlier on. Just a whisker ahead of Dylan Reid. Tom Harvey third on the grid from Callum Gunning. Toby Baldry and Morgan Cole in that top 6. Very good work indeed from Baldry and Cole. They'll be both very delighted with that. Whitehouse in 7th. He had a smile on his face afterwards as well. Sam Cunliffe in 8th. Nicky Taylor in a very disappointed 9th. And Scott Huntley in 10th. But all of them are separated by less than 0.3 of a second. That's how close it is in qualifying here at Hooton Park. You've got to be very tight in with each other. Joe Sheppy is 11th on the grid from Alicia Parmowski, who's got the experience of having raced here before. Not many of the drivers in the field have, of course. Jack Rigg, Zach Parkinson, Ben Gartside, then Dylan Bradley, Tom Davison, Lewis Berry, and it'll be Vijay Ramlal and Will Vincent who take up the rest of the field. There's Dylan Reid on the front row of the starting grid, getting himself ready for the action in that fantastic fighter squadron air pilot helmet he's got there. Alongside him on the grid, the box-it colours of Harry Graham, the number 3 championship leader in birelART Junior 100, also competing in the GPVWC Formula Challenge Series. There is Thomas Harvey running in third position off this one. He is the current runner-up, of course, in cadets from last year, stepping up to juniors and already a front runner. The man who won the first 5 races of the birelART Junior 100 series in 2018. Callum Gunning was on an unbeaten streak earlier this year. He's hoping to get himself his 6th win of the season if things go well in this one. Harry Graham and Dylan Reid on that front row of the starting grid from Tom Harvey and Callum Gunning. The third row of the grid, it is Toby Baldry and Morgan Cole, having an absolutely amazing run in qualifying, those two. Third row of the grid, Toby Baldry and Morgan Cole, and they will be challenging for podiums here today. And both of them have the speed and the tenacity to get there. They've been working so hard on their setup the last few weeks. Baldry and Cole are now looking genuine contenders for the top 3 every time they come out. George Whitehouse is getting ever closer to it as well. 7th position for him on the starting grid, and he can be very happy with that. The ever quiet and ever calculated Sam Cunliffe, the E-plate. They're in 8th position on the grid, always a fighting factor. Watch for these two from the 5th row of the grid, though. Nicky Taylor and Scott Huntley, they are sure to be fighting their way through the field. Joe Sheppy, very fast at the start of the year, has been one of the victims of how close it is in this championship. 11th place on the grid. The leading rookie, Alicia Parmowski, 12th on the grid with plenty of knowledge of this circuit behind her. Jack Rigg and Zach Parkinson, both making good, steady progress in terms of lap pace. Ben Gartside and Dylan Briley making good progress too. Gartside was in the top 6 for a lot of practice yesterday. Dylan Briley still making that massive jump up from cadet to junior and loving the extra horsepower he's got. Tom Davison, frustrated with 17th, but the pace is good. Lewis Berry in 18th, still in his rookie campaign, as of course are Vijay Ramlal and Will Vinson, who set no time in the qualifying session earlier on due to transponder difficulties. So the 20 drivers are now lined up in the holding area on the dummy grid, ready to be sent out around this Hooton Park circuit. And it's going to be a very interesting race. I can look at the top 10 drivers on the starting grid, and any one of those 10 could win this first race. They all have the speed around here. They've all got good tenacity. The knowledge is good. The speed is close. The gap is very minimal, and they've all got good overtaking skills. So every single one of these drivers in the top 10 has what it takes, in my view, to win this first race and then go on to win the pre-final and the final. I'm not sure anybody's going to get the hat trick today, but there's definitely 10 drivers in that top 10 who all have what it takes to win. Graham and Reid, Harvey and Gunning, Baldry and Cole, Whitehouse and Cunliffe, Taylor and Huntley. The top 10. It's tough to envisage anybody outside that top 10 picking up a win in this first race at least, but looking at how close it has been in qualifying, you would begrudge anybody a chance of a podium finish today that's within half a second of pole setter Harry Graham. There's still plenty of action to come. We know how tight it can be in the junior brigade, so we're going to see some really exciting battles, and we'll see how the race fares. It is, of course, the first race of the weekend for the juniors. 3 races over the course of the day. People watching from all over the country, all over the world. They watch birelART UK series. Go, go, Gunning. Love from Louise. Mum is home in Kent watching away. And Callum Gunning is bidding to win race number 6 of his 2018 campaign. Won the first 5 races of the season in a row, of course. There's been plenty of great winners in junior over the course of 2018. So the story so far as we go into the second half of the season, Callum Gunning won 5 races back-to-back. Then we had Harry Graham get his winning streak underway. Harry Graham has now won all but 7 races over the course of the season, I do believe. So only 7 races have not gone his way. Callum Gunning won the first 5 in a row, of course. And then Dylan Reid and Scott Huntley picked up a win apiece. Dylan Reid picking up the final victory at Fulbeck. And Scott Huntley took the first heat of the weekend at Glenagorse. Championship standings-wise, it is Harry Graham who leads the standings from Callum Gunning. The gap between them is 30 points coming into this weekend. And that, of course, is on dropped scores. Scott Huntley is 3rd in the standings from Dylan Reid, then Toby Baldry, Tom Harvey, Sam Cunliffe, Nicky Taylor, Ben Gartside, and having a great season, Morgan Cole. That's the top 10 in the standings. So the drivers are just getting themselves up into their positions now. 2 rolling laps of this very short Hooton Park circuit. Just over the road from the Vauxhall car plant on the other side of the main road here. The Vauxhall plant, the home of the Astra, they bill it. And it's the last site, of course, where a British car manufacturer is mass producing its own product on home soil. So a very car place, this particular part of the world. And just over the road, a kart track, ever since 2005. So the drivers just getting themselves out of that final hairpin turn and back up onto the throttle. Let's see how the junior start gets underway. Controlled nicely by Matt Daniels, and away we go. Down to the first corner, jostling for position. It's a beautiful, clean start. Callum Gunning trying to run round the outside of Tom Harvey to move into 3rd position, but he's going to have to slot into 4th for the moment, and there's a little bit of a nudge behind. Great save by Toby Baldry. That was averting disaster as the drivers jockey for position. Nicky Taylor down the inside. Baldry gets him on the undercut. A couple of the drivers off. That's Dylan Briley going a little bit wide, and it looks to me as though Lewis Berry did the same, but otherwise a relatively clean start. Harry Graham leads the way, Reed 2nd, Harvey 3rd, Gunning 4th, Morgan Cole up to a brilliant 5th, Cunliffe is up to 6th as well, then it's Taylor, Baldry, that's George Whitehouse, and in behind him is Scott Huntley. Terrific start in the juniors, and a cracking race is in the offing now. Tom Harvey now right in behind Dylan Reed, Harry Graham trying to control the pace in the lead of it, Gunning in 4th, Cole in 5th, here comes Reed having a look. Not quite close enough to go for that ultimate lunge on Graham, but will he try the naked tie move and go for turn 4? He has an ultimate look, but he's not going to get there. The top 4 now tightening up. Graham, Reed, Harvey, Gunning. Make that 5 because Morgan Cole's in the mix now as well. Nicky Taylor closing up for 6th position. Sam Cunliffe is still there in that 6th place spot, but Taylor's getting closer. Then Baldry, Huntley now in front of Alicia Parmowski. What's happened to George Whitehouse? Whitehouse appears to have gone off the road and is now down to 19th. So George Whitehouse, is he out of the race? I can't see him anywhere about. But Whitehouse appears to have fallen a long way down the order. Yes, indeed, Whitehouse has dropped back. So Whitehouse down the order. Meanwhile, Nicky Taylor is trying to make his bid to move his way further forward. He's got past Sam Cunliffe. So Nicky Taylor up into 6th place, and that's the move for the lead. Reed gets on the inside of the final turn and gets past Graham. So Reed, Graham, here comes Harvey looking for a way past. He's going to try and keep Gunning at bay. Gunning goes for a late lunge and through into 3rd. The door's open for Cole. Cole's going to get through into 4th. Terrific, and now the door's wide open for Taylor and Cunliffe. Harvey looks like he's going to slip down the order quite a long way here. Taylor trying to stop the charge as Baldry comes for it, but now manages to slot back in. So Reed is your leader, Graham in 2nd, then it is Gunning. Cole in 4th place, then it is Nicky Taylor from Sam Cunliffe and Tom Harvey. Baldry is there next, then Huntley and Alicia Parmowski. The rookie is doing a fantastic job. She's got great experience of this track, of course, and that is helping her out. Then we've got Parkinson. Vijay Ramlau's having a great run here, doing a brilliant job up in a 12th place at the start, making some great progress here, Ramlau, in front of Joe Sheppy. Then it's Guardside, Rigg, Davison. So some really good racing in this particular battle. As off goes Cunliffe. Cunliffe's gone off of the hairpin. Now, I'm not sure what happened there, but Sam Cunliffe has dropped it as Nicky Taylor is now up into 3rd in this little tussle. Nicky Taylor's dropped back a long way as Gunning's gone for the move and Cole's gone for the move on Harry Graham. I think that was Cunliffe trying to make a move on Nicky Taylor, and Taylor has dropped back into the 2nd pack of karts. So Cunliffe's dropped a long way back. Unfortunately, Tom Harvey seems to have slipped back down the order as well to 15th. So Taylor is down to 10th. Cunliffe is down to 18th. Harvey's down to 15th. A couple of drivers there, unfortunately, involved in incidents. But Reed is your leader. Gunning now 2nd. Cole 3rd. And Harry Graham, the championship leader, is in 4th. Morgan Cole signals to Harry. Come on, let's go get him. Morgan Cole is having the race of his season here at the moment. He's looking good for what could be his first podium finish of the season. His best result of 2018 was 7th place in the final at Wilton Mill. So Morgan Cole is looking good for his first podium finish of 2018 if he just keeps it together. So Nicky Taylor now tags onto the back of Ramlau, goes for a late lunge. Ramlau gets a little bit wide. That's enough for Taylor to complete the move. Good work there from Nicky Taylor. And Ramlal's now trying to hold off Sheppy and Gartside, who are having a good little tussle behind. Gartside trying to get the undercut, but Sheppy too good for him on that occasion. Still plenty of time to get him, of course, as Tom Davison is now battling away with Jack Rigg behind them. Lewis Berry is the next one in the line, I do believe. No, that's Will Vincent, my apologies. As up the inside, Sheppy goes for the move on Ramlal. And that's not going to happen. It very nearly caused a bit of chaos there for Gartside and Rigg. So Will Vincent is in the mix. He doesn't have a transponder, but he will be added into the mix a little later, we're told. So Ramlal still jostling with Joe Sheppy. Sheppy makes the move initially, but then Ramlal manages to get him back. But Dylan Reed is taking good advantage. Oh, Gartside goes for the move on Sheppy and ends up slipping back behind Rigg and Davison. Hand in the air, wasn't too happy about it. And that's Graham having moved up to third past Morgan Cole. So Graham is back in the third place. Where are the leaders? Here they come. And it's Gunning who leads. Gunning is now your leader. He's got past Dylan Reed. So Callum Gunning into the lead of the race, looking for his 6th win of the year. Harry Graham now in third, on the back of Dylan Reed. Morgan Cole still there in 4th. And Toby Baldry in 5th position, very close in behind. Huntley now up to 6th. Parmowski up to 7th. So some really good performances. And a really good start to proceedings. Gunning is your leader. Reed, Graham, Cole, Baldry, Huntley, Parmowski, Parkinson and Taylor. Ramlal up to 10th now. So several drivers out of the mix as a result of a couple of incidents as Reed moves across to cover Graham. Morgan Cole might get a good lunge into 3rd position at turn 4. But Graham is too busy focusing on Reed to worry about that. Baldry in 5th position. 6th place for Huntley, 7th place for Parmowski. A lot of drivers in this mix are going to get a very good run as Graham dives for the move on Reed and Cole gets through. Oh, Graham and Reed have spun around. Problems for Graham and Reed. Absolute disaster. Graham decided to go for broke and Reed didn't give him enough space to make the move happen. And now the pair of them are down the order. What a disaster out of the final turn. So Reed and Graham drop to the back of the field. And that means that Gunning is now leading Morgan Cole in 2nd place from Baldry, Huntley and Parmowski. What a twist of fate. Absolutely astonishing turn of events here in the juniors. But Morgan Cole is set for his best ever result in birelART UK. Nicky Taylor charging after with pursuit from Zach Parkinson. They're trying to move forward to catch the top 5. Huntley's now defending from Alicia Parmowski and starting to make the bid to go for Baldry. If I'm Morgan Cole, I really want Huntley to go for the move in 3rd place now because I want some space to focus on the next move to try and close up on Callum Gunning. So championship-wise, this is a big moment. Gunning is going to gain some massive ground here on Harry Graham. And almost certainly, this is going to end up being the heat that Harry Graham will drop over the course of the season. So Harry Graham's lowest finish in a heat prior to this was back in the first round of the championship at Landau, where he didn't finish in the top 3. He finished 4th that day, but he's going to finish 19th in this one. Make that 20th when you take into account Will Vincent. But it's Gunning who leads. Morgan Cole looking good for his best ever finish in birelART UK Series racing. 3rd is Baldry, 4th is Huntley, and 5th is Parmowski, who again is looking good for her best ever result in birelART UK. What an amazing turn of events. Parmowski has yet to finish a race in the top 6. Morgan Cole has definitely not finished as high as 2nd before. And we're on the last lap. Huntley's looking at Baldry. Parmowski is looking at Huntley. But Callum Gunning looks set to take his 6th win of the season in what is going to be an amazing weekend now as we watch Reed and Graham charge through from the back. But Callum Gunning has done it in style out of the final turn. Callum Gunning gets his 6th win of the season and he's back to winning ways. Morgan Cole is 2nd and it feels like a win. Baldry 3rd, Huntley 4th, Alicia Parmowski in 5th position from Taylor and Parkinson. Ramlal a brilliant 8th position. He'll be delighted with that. VJ Ramlal 8th from Jack Rigg and Tom Harvey. Now, where did Will Vincent cross the line? Will Vincent was there in between Sheppy and Gartside. in about that sort of area. So Davison 11th, Sheppy, Gartside and Vincent, we're told, is going to be in 14th. Then Sam Cunliffe, Lewis Berry, Dylan Briley, George Whitehouse, Dylan Reed and Harry Graham. But the winner, Callum Gunning, second, Morgan Cole, and that will feel like a race win to Morgan Cole. Absolutely fantastic racing. Thrilling battle. Toby Baldry quite happy with third place by the look of it. Well, that was different. That was a very exciting race. And we saw all sorts of twists and turns in that one. Scott Huntley will be happy with the points there for fourth place. What an amazing performance that was from so many juniors who wanted a really good result out of that one. Championship-wise, that's done Scott Huntley so much good. A top 4 finish. Nicky Taylor will be disappointed with 6th place, considering he could have been one of the drivers fighting for the win. But for Morgan Cole, there he is, look at that. Second position, he must feel like he's won the race. Morgan Cole and Toby Baldry on the podium. We did say, didn't we, that from the third row of the grid, Baldry and Cole had a chance to go for the podium in this race. And Morgan Cole must feel like Christmas has come 3 months early. Absolutely amazing. Second place in race. He can't stop smiling. Let's have a look back at some of the best bits from that race. There were so many of them. There are the juniors. Front row of the grid. Callum Gunning versus Morgan Cole. A very, very good start to the race. This is going to be between these two. Morgan Cole still grinning from ear to ear. He can't believe he got a second place in that race. And now he's just one away from a victory. If he does that here, that really will be an amazing early Christmas present, considering how tough the season has been for Morgan Cole this year. But Callum Gunning was talking to his dad just a few minutes ago. He's very, very pleased to see Callum Gunning back on the top step of the podium. Let's not forget that this season, Callum Gunning is basically learning each of the circuits as we go to them. He won the first 5 races of the season and then had a bit of a mid-season slump, but he's back where he wants to be again after the summer break. Back on the top spot. Toby Baldry and Scott Huntley on that second row of the grid are definitely going to be interesting factors in this one as well. Toby Baldry sure to be a contender for the win. Scott Huntley there in 4th position. Morgan Cole shaking his head. No, we won't. No, we won't. So much banter in the junior brigade. And the best result of the season in 5th position for the lady who knows her way around this circuit very well, Alicia Parmowski, did a very, very good job indeed in qualifying, in the first heat, sorry. There's Morgan Cole, 2nd position on the grid, ready for the action. And he knows what he needs to do now. He's obviously had a very good first run in that first race. Scott Huntley getting himself ready in there as well behind with the Ayrton Senna McLaren Tribute Band livery. Very, very cool looking car, that number 6. As the officials just getting themselves ready, Andy Cox in deep conversation with clerk of the course Matt Daniels and Megan, our starter, as well. There's the man who's back in winning form again. First 5 wins of the season at a canter and back in the top spot after the first heat here at Hooton Park. Callum Gunning, 6th win of the season in race 1 today. So now back into winning form and exactly where he wants to be for the remainder of the season. It's been a bit of a fight back to get there as the season has progressed, but he's definitely earned his stripes. And with that now being his 6th win of the season, that is just 2 behind Harry Graham, who leads the Drivers' Championship. There's Toby Baldry, getting himself ready for action again from 3rd place. Well fought that to 3rd position for Toby Baldry, but from the inside line on the start of this one, he knows very well that he's got a good chance of getting himself back. What's Nicky Taylor sunbathing for? Thank you, Nicky. Dear, oh dear. The thing is, the drivers can hear this when they're sat on the dummy grid as well. So Nicky Taylor obviously putting his feet up. Right behind him, actually, is a driver who's really done a fantastic job this weekend, Vijay Ramlal. He's had a difficult season getting used to the kart, and there have been a few mechanical gremlins for Vijay, but this weekend he really has hit a sweet spot, and now he's there in the top 10, where he deserves to be, and he's fighting brilliantly. That first race really went well for him. 125 there on the left-hand side, the leading rookie for a lot of this season, and certainly this weekend, Alicia Parmowski. Spent all of 2017 testing, including here, so knows this circuit very well and knows the kart very well now as well. So this is the weekend where she's finally getting into her groove. Her highest finish before today was 9th position. So to get a 5th place in race 1, not only is she the leading rookie, but she's right up there in the hunt for overall victory. Right behind her on the grid is going to be Zach Parkinson, another man who's really done a fine job this weekend and is looking very strong, looking very groovy out on the grid as well. Yeah, check me out, check me out. No, you haven't got the moves like Jagger, Zach, sort it out. Anyway, in terms of his racecraft, Zach Parkinson has been very, very good over the course of this weekend. He was so strong in practice yesterday over 1 lap. He was really finding his mojo. So now the race moves are starting to come to him. And it's starting to feel more natural, which is really good news. A few drivers needing to make a bit of a comeback, though. So we'll see how things fare in this pre-final. Of course, the points scored are different compared to the pre-finals and the finals. And the heats, sorry. A heat victory is worth 65 points. The pre-final is worth 130. So everybody wanting to get a big score from this one. As we get ourselves ready for that junior pre-final, let's figure out who is going to get the best starts as they run from the front of the grid. Callum Gunning and Morgan Cole on that front row of the grid. Toby Baldry and Scott Huntley on the second row. Third row is Alicia Parmowski and Nikki Taylor wanting to charge their way further forward. On the fourth row, it is going to be Zach Parkinson after his brilliant battle in race 1 and Vijay Ramlal, another great result for him in 8th place. Rounding out the top 10 for this starting grid, it's going to be Jack Rigg and Tom Harvey, who managed to get a good fight back there into the top 10. So keep an eye on him. He'll be trying to charge his way forward. Tom Davison and Joe Sheppy on the 6th row of the starting grid will be sure to move their way further forward if they get a couple of opportunities for overtaking. Ben Gartside in 13th, Will Vincent in 14th after a difficult first couple of sessions, but has now got himself right up there in 14th. Sam Cunliffe recovering after his earlier incident in 15th alongside Lewis Berry, who is challenging Alicia Parmowski and Vijay Ramlal for the top rookie spot. Dylan Briley and George Whitehouse having difficult races there, both of them off the road at various points, but none quite as dramatically as Dylan Reed and Harry Graham, right at the back of the grid. The championship leader, Harry Graham, will start this pre-final from the back, and that means we're sure to see the mother of all drives back through the field, where he'll be making overtake after overtake. Dylan Reed likewise alongside him on that 10th row. So we should see some pretty exciting action from the juniors at both the sharp and rear end of the grid. And this starting grid is not going to be the finishing order for the pre-final in any stretch of the imagination. And it would not surprise me if every single position is different. So the drivers are now lined up in position. Callum Gunning to the inside line, Morgan Cole to the outside line. They both know how to run well here now, having had that fantastic first race. And as they prepare for the whistle to blow, we will get ourselves underway for the pre-final of the birelART UK Series Junior 100. A couple of interesting incidents in that first race. Matt Nib Isaacs is watching from home. So he waves to Toby. Toby Baldry's waving to him, and he's already sent you a message. Don't worry. Where is Matt? Where is Matt? He's watching. He says, Toby Baldry, the giraffe, the win is on. Well, that's what he says. So, Toby, no pressure. He also says, don't tell him to put his finger out and go for the win. I'm sure that's an inside joke. And that's absolutely fine. Andy Cox just overseeing his wonderful creation, the birelART UK Series Juniors on the starting grid. Big things are coming for the birelART UK Series in 2019. We've got some very nice announcements coming over the course of the next 5 to 6 weeks. So please do like and subscribe on the Facebook feed, on the YouTube feed, the Twitter feed, the Instagram feed as well. There is going to be some massive, massive movement for the 2019 championship campaigns. And we're going to see some really exciting stuff next season in the birelART UK Series paddock. I'm very excited about it. It's all still a bit of a mystery to the paddock. But when they hear about it, oh my word, are they going to be in for a treat. We did hear, of course, a few days ago that we're going to have a new calendar edition for the 2019 season. A new track will join the brigade, and that is going to be the beautiful Cumbria countryside circuit of Rowrah, which we're all really excited about. Morgan Cole, that's a win in and of itself. Morgan Cole and Father Bod, very, very happy about that one. I have to say I am as well. Rowrah is to the British karting world what the Nürburgring is to the world of motorsport. It's a really wonderful circuit, very picturesque, very different to everything else, and bedded into the depths of a beautiful Cumbrian quarry. We're all really looking forward to going and joining Malcolm Fell and his cronies up at birelART. It's going to be a really exciting round of the championship next year, which will be the round after the summer break, we're told. So that's going to be a very exciting round of the championship. And I will not at all be surprised if a few drivers who are sat in their garages at home with a birelART UK senior kart sitting doing nothing, that is the round of the championship they will come out to play. Because a chance to race at birelART, who wouldn't turn that up? Green flag flies from Megan at the end of the pit lane, and the drivers are heading out onto the circuit for the second race of the weekend for the juniors. This is going to be a very exciting battle, and we're going to see some absolutely superb racing from the drivers in Junior 100. We'll have some sensational racing around this picturesque Hooton Park circuit, just a stone's throw away from the Vauxhall car plant, the home of the Astra, as it is known. So we will see how the drivers compete in what is very much Merseyside car country. Plenty of great battles going on. Just watching the drivers dial themselves in, getting the tyres and brakes up to speed as the drivers knit their way around the circuit. Scott Huntley and Nicky Taylor just going through. Very partisan following for Scott Huntley this weekend, with the Senna McLaren 30th anniversary t-shirts worn in great pride. That is the reason why his kart is in those red and white colours, of course. It is to imitate the McLaren MP44 that was driven by the great late Brazilian Ayrton Senna, who took his first world title in Formula One 30 years ago to the month, I think, very nearly. I'm fairly sure it was the end of September I think it was the end of September 1988 when he took that title. If not, it was the early part of October. But it's certainly celebrating 30 years of that great Formula One feat. That's why Scott Huntley's kart is bedecked in McLaren MP44 livery. So now let's see how Callum Gunning, Morgan Cole, Toby Baldry, Scott Huntley, Alicia Parmowski and Nicky Taylor acquit themselves from the front of the grid. The engine revs rise, Matt Daniels keeps them separate in formation, and it's a perfect start. Callum Gunning gets a good getaway. Morgan Cole's going to slot into second place. Toby Baldry knits his way through on the inside, but Cole is strong, and he hangs on a second. Great defence there from Cole as he keeps the position. A little bit of waving and gesturing further back as a couple of drivers trying to knit their way through, and Morgan Cole goes for the lead on Callum Gunning. He's going to keep it to the inside line, goes for the lead, and Cole is there. Morgan Cole leads. Brilliant bit of driving as he hangs on in front of Callum Gunning. The breakthrough weekend for Morgan Cole could be on here. Absolutely terrific. Cole leads from Gunning, Baldry, fourth place Huntley, then it's Taylor and Parmowski. Zach Parkinson in seventh. Oh, what a fantastic start to the race. Morgan Cole feeling good, feeling confident. Out in front, Gunning's going to go for the move, is he? No, he's going to hang back as Huntley defends from Nicky Taylor. Alicia Parmowski gets in there to go for the move. Nicky Taylor's going to get back on the undercut and hangs on to fifth place once again. Perfect start to this race. Parkinson now going for Parmowski. Bit of a run wide as several drivers are trying to make up progress. Harry Graham is up 3 places. Tom Davison has gone off the road somewhere as Sam Cunliffe gets himself. Oh, Harvey off! Harvey off at the final turn. I was going to say that was Cunliffe getting up the inside of Jack Rigg, but Harvey goes off on the final turn and slots in behind Dylan Briley as Gunning has taken back the lead from Cole. So Gunning's done that into turn 1. Baldry now going for Cole. Cole will not let him through. But now Scott Huntley is a threat to Baldry. And up the inside comes Nicky Taylor. Taylor gets past Huntley. Great bit of racing there from Nicky. And that puts him up in a 4th place. So now Taylor's going to go for the bid up the inside of Baldry. Oh, terrific from Nicky Taylor. Up into 3rd place. Absolutely sensational. 2 passing moves in 1 lap. And now it's Gunning, Cole, Taylor, Baldry, Huntley and Parkinson. Guardside 7th from Ramlal. Now what's happened to Parmowski? She's dropped all the way back to 17th. Not entirely sure what's happened to her on that lap. But Parmowski appears to have dropped back. So I guess an incident somewhere else. I didn't see where she fell down. We'll have to look at the replay later. Might be able to spot it. But Morgan Cole and Callum Gunning are getting away from these three. Parkinson 6th, then Gartside, Ramlal, Cunliffe, Rigg, Berry, Reed, Graham and Whitehouse. A very strong start to this race from the juniors. Harry Graham is up to 12th. Dylan Reed is up to 11th. There they are, coming into the picture now. They're going around the circuit together, these two, as Graham tries to get on the inside of Dylan Reed for turn 3. BJ Ramlal still battling with Cunliffe. Graham thinks better of Dylan Reed in the end. So they continue to run around. But this time, Callum Gunning wants to control the pace of this race from the front, with Morgan Cole right in behind him, still challenging. Some terrific racing and a really good battle in the early stages of this. But Parkinson in front of Gardside as they duel for 6th. Cunliffe is 8th. Ramlal is 9th. Jack Rigg in 10th. Reed and Graham come next. And they are close together. They've dropped Berry, Whitehouse and Sheppy. So it's starting to settle down a little bit. I only say a little bit because there's still a long way to go. 6 minutes and 26. 6 minutes and 36, I should say, sorry. Parkinson, Gardside. The E-plate of Cunliffe. Ramlal, he's got Jack Rigg, Dylan Reed and Harry Graham right in for the battle. Morgan Cole closes right back up on Callum Gunning as Sam Cunliffe goes for the move on the inside of Gardside and gets the place. So Harry Graham trying to charge his way forward up to 12th in there behind Dylan Reed as they come through now. This is the battle further back as George Whitehouse makes his lunge for Joe Sheppy with Lewis Berry in 13th. The leaders are through together. Nicky Taylor has now caught up to the back of the leading two. So this could get quite spicy. Gunning, Cole and Taylor challenging for the lead. There they are in the back of your picture. Alicia Parmowski now has Tom Harvey up the inside. Tom Harvey goes through at the S's. So Alicia Parmowski tucks up behind Thomas Harvey, who's going for Joe Sheppy. How about that? 123, 24, 25, 26. All information. Sheppy, Harvey, Parmowski and Vincent all in together. Then Tom Davison and Dylan Briley further back after their incidents. Tom Davison desperately trying to close up on Vincent. But it's Gunning, Cole and Nicky Taylor at the front. Baldry 4th, Huntley 5th. Now Nicky Taylor's looking quite threatening for 2nd. Here he comes on the back of Morgan Cole. Cole looks like he could get a move on Gunning before Taylor gets a move on Cole. Here they come again into turn 1. Cole's not going to make his move yet, but he might get some assistance from Nicky Taylor if he wants to go for the lead. Down to turn 3. Morgan Cole's biding his time. He's not going to do anything silly. Waiting for his moment. Nicky Taylor's coming in though. Nicky Taylor going to try and make that move for 2nd place. Morgan Cole hanging on to 2nd beautifully. This is such a step forward for Morgan Cole. He'll get such a massive bag of confidence from this. Gets a little bit loose through the S's, but that sets him up for a better, cleaner run on Callum Gunning down the main straight. And Gunning doesn't have the toe. So Morgan Cole may get a good charge into the lead up towards turn 3. But Nicky Taylor is right with him. Here goes Taylor. Taylor going to get across and make the move on Morgan Cole, and he's in a 2nd. He tags. He very nearly hit the back of Gunning there. Cole is going to try and squeeze him out for 2nd again. But Taylor through. And Baldry's going to get through on the inside as well, is he? No. Morgan Cole hangs on in there. So Morgan Cole still 3rd. Baldry 4th, Huntley 5th, but Nicky Taylor, crucially, through to 2nd. Now in the slipstream, Nicky Taylor may have the advantage here to close up on Callum Gunning. This could be Taylor's first chance to go for a victory. He's had the lead of races before as Nicky Taylor. Callum Gunning has won 6 of them this year. But Nicky Taylor has yet to get a victory in birelART UK Series, and he is not far away from it now. He charges after Callum Gunning. He could get his best ever chance if he closes up on the race leader. 2nd in the championship, Callum Gunning, set to make up some big points on Harry Graham. But from Nicky Taylor's point of view, he doesn't want to worry about the title fight. He doesn't really think he's in it at the moment. He wants to win a race though. And this is going to be his best chance yet. Morgan Cole hanging on to 3rd in front of Baldry and Huntley. Baldry might get a chance to make the move. Huntley is there in 5th as well. So Morgan Cole just trying to get Baldry and Huntley to work with him. Come on, let's get after them. But if Baldry thinks for one moment that there's not enough time to go for it, unless he gets past Cole himself, then he might know. Taylor's going to go for the move on Gunning. Oh, he had to hang back as the back end stepped out. He kept the foot flat on the floor through the S's. Nicky Taylor saves his bacon. That was close. That was really close for Nicky Taylor. But we know now that the move is on, and that's going to keep Callum Gunning quite nervous. Nicky Taylor going to try and make the move, but Cole is there on the inside of Taylor. Cole is going to get through and take second. Cole is back in a second, and now Baldry alongside Taylor for third. But Taylor keeps the door shut. Has Nicky Taylor lost his best chance of winning here today? Morgan Cole having now gone through in a second. So this is going to get very interesting at the front end as now Baldry steps up the game on Nicky Taylor. And Scott Hunley is right there for fifth. Cunliffe, having moved up to sixth place now, is there in front of Parkinson. Then guard side, Harry Graham and Vijay Ramlal. Now importantly, Harry Graham has got himself into that second group. Dylan Reid has dropped back into 14th as Baldry goes for Taylor, and he gets third position now. Great driving from both Morgan Cole and Toby Baldry today, but Baldry, the banzai move comes from Taylor. Taylor gets through, and now Huntley's going to get through. Oh, there's not a lot Baldry can do about that one, and that's going to drop him into the clutches of the likes of Cunliffe, Parkinson, Gartside and Graham. Here comes the championship leader, the number 3, Harry Graham, at the back of this 4. He's at the back of the quartet, now trying to move his way forward to gain as many more points as he can. Gartside looks like he's going to get the move on Parkinson, but he hangs back. So Graham will want the move into turn 4. Running out of time rapidly here. But now it looks to me as though Morgan Cole is dropping Nicky Taylor and the rest of the field behind him and going after Callum Gunning once more. If he can get in the slipstream, maybe Morgan Cole could get a win as Graham gets past Gartside at the back of the train. Now Morgan Cole still thinks the win might be on here between him and Callum Gunning. He's got space, he's got time as well. I think he'll have enough for 2 more laps. So Morgan Cole doing a very good job. Nicky Taylor third in front of Scott Huntley and Toby Baldry. 6th is Cunliffe, then it's Parkinson, Graham and Gartside. Vijay Ramlal in 10th place. A really good run this for Ramlal, and his best ever result on the way as the leading rookie home, although he did finish 8th overall in the last race. So now it's going to be an interesting one to see how the battle continues further forward. But is this going to be a victory for Callum Gunning or for Morgan Cole? Cole is pushing very hard on the back of Callum Gunning. They are on the penultimate lap. So Morgan Cole has got time to do this on Callum Gunning. He's going to go the long way round and try and get a switch back into the S's. This is a good run from Morgan Cole. He knows how far back Taylor, Huntley and Baldry are, so he may go for the move. Callum Gunning's getting loose. Cole has opened up the door. Cole is through. Morgan Cole with 1 lap to go has taken the lead. Gunning trying to come back at him. Gunning gets back through. They are swapping the lead. So Gunning has made the move on Cole. Cole has got it back on the back straight. So Gunning is now sliding about as Cole nearly in the lead of the race there. So can Morgan Cole get the lead back in the last few corners? If he does what he did on the previous lap, he could snatch the lead out of the final turn. Into the S's. Cole will try one last time, but Gunning is going to get the victory. Cole is going to get second, but he knows now that he can beat Callum Gunning. Gunning is the winner. Cole second. Third for Nicky Taylor. Huntley, Baldry, Cunliffe and Graham in the top 6. Graham 7th, sorry. 8th position for Parkinson, then Gartside, Ramlal, Tom Harvey, George Whitehouse. Then Reid, Sheppy, Davison, Berry and Parmowski, with Dylan Bradley and Jack Rigg in the mix as well. That was sensational. I tell you what, Morgan Cole is definitely up for the victory today, but so far it is Callum Gunning all the way. Callum Gunning scores the maximum 130 points again, and that's Morgan Cole's highest ever score in a birelART UK Series race. A 2nd place finish he can be truly ecstatic with. Nicky Taylor, well, he'll be happy with 3rd, but he could have had a lot more in that race and he knows it. But so nearly. Morgan Cole taking his first win in birelART UK Series, and maybe, just maybe, he saved his best for last in the final. Harry Graham's made a good fight back there in 7th place as well. So important for the championship leader to make some ground in terms of the points. But 7th place, much better than 20th. But how about these three? What a show. What a show they've put on. Nicky Taylor fighting furiously for third. Morgan Cole, 1/10 of a second away from his first ever victory in birelART UK Series. And he was quite happy with that. Callum Gunning, though, winner again for the 7th time in 2018. And as he checks his weight, that's absolutely fine. Weight with the cart and obviously full race suit and helmet. That's a satisfying moment again for Callum Gunning. 1 away from a hat-trick now. Vijay Ramlal, the leading rookie this time, and I think that's the first time Vijay Ramlal has taken the rookie victory in 2018, so he'll be very happy with that. Morgan Cole just can't stop grinning. Look at him. Just can't stop grinning. He and Dad Bod are absolutely ecstatic. They don't come racing to dominate. They don't come looking for major sponsorship deals. They don't come looking to be world champions in Formula One. They come because they love their racing. And a 2nd place finish is amazing for Morgan Cole, but twice in one day, that is absolutely fantastic. So now we're getting ready for the action again in the Super Elites this time. But let's watch the highlights from the juniors. There were a lot of them. Morgan Cole immediately came out of the blocks for the attack on Callum Gunning. Baldry initially getting the run for second, but Cole absolutely adamant he wasn't going to lose the lead, and then took the lead earlier on, of course, in front of Callum Gunning. And then we saw a couple of incidents further back. Cunliffe going for rig. Alicia Palmowski eventually dropping back from that top 6 crowd. Nicky Taylor getting some amazing moves in that race. Watch this on Toby Baldry. Full commitment into the final turn. Absolutely brilliant. Full chat from Taylor. There's some good battles in the midfield as well from Sam Cunliffe as he charged his way forward. And we had a spin further back. I just saw that the second time around, a spin further back. I think that was for, trying to see who that would have been for. I'm guessing that was a spin from Dylan Briley a little further on in the race. It might even have been Dylan Reed who went backwards down the order as a result of that. And then we saw this from Nicky Taylor, the move that nearly happened on Callum Gunning. Didn't quite. But that set Morgan Cole up for a chance to go for 2nd place again, which he wasn't about to get a second invitation for. Neatly into turn 3, sorted himself out, and then just set off after Callum Gunning. And oh so nearly, Morgan Cole got the victory. Baldry getting a move on Nicky Taylor was a very brave effort. And he made it through initially, but Nicky Taylor wasn't about to leave that one lying. Went straight back up the inside, and Nicky Taylor absolutely forceful in his manoeuvre. But this was the move that had us all on our feet. Penultimate lap, and he's right beside me watching it. Morgan, watch this back. This is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, Callum made a mistake coming into the corner, and I just capitalised on it, but he got switched back down the straight, and fair play to him. It was a good race, clean. Do the same in the final.
You were the driver who's had more bad luck, I think, than most people in the birelART UK Series paddock. To know that you've had a second, but not just one, but twice today, and you came within a lap of beating Callum Gunning, who's won 7 times this year. That must be very satisfying.
Yeah, it is. I'm not getting my hopes up yet after fullback last year, but it's looking good. And if I can just get the starts like I've been doing and keep it going and keep Nicky behind me and Toby and Alicia behind me, then it should be all good. It's going to be hard, though.
Terrific, mate. Well done. Superb racing today. Keep it up.
Cheers.
Really, really good stuff. Morgan Cole, he wanted to see the replay, dashed up to have a look at it. I wanted to see that move, It was a good one. But it certainly was. Man just in front of him as well, Zach Parkinson, still having that roller coaster season, but this weekend it's a good one, and he's got plenty of speed and pace with it. Just behind Ramlal as well, Joe Sheppy, he was a threat right from the start of the season at Glandau, and still has good ultimate pace. And surely, if he gets another good few overtaking moves in this junior final, then he will be back at the sharp end. So many drivers to consider as potential podium finishers. Let's talk you through that Junior 100 grid in detail, because the kind of battle we're going to get in this race is one of pure unpredictability. Callum Gunning and Morgan Cole unchanged on that front row from the pre-final, But Morgan Cole was only a 10th away from the victory against Callum Gunning in the last race, so anything can happen. Nicky Taylor third, threatening to take the win. Scott Huntley alongside him in fourth, always a safe pair of hands. Toby Baldry and Sam Cunliffe have had a very exciting couple of races. They deserve their place on the third row of the grid. Can they find any more from the final? Harry Graham fighting his way through brilliantly to 7th in the pre-final. Now he's right back in the hunt for a race victory, with Zach Parkinson alongside him in 8th place. And Ben Gardside shares the 5th row of the grid with Vijay Ramlal. Great performances from those two. Tom Harvey, a difficult weekend at the office from him. Ultimately ridiculously fast, but completely unlucky at the moment. Joe Sheppy alongside him in 12th place. Similar story, really. Tom Davison and George Whitehouse have both shown they're very fast around here. But again, they just don't seem to be dealing a very decent pair of cards at the moment. Lewis Berry and Alicia Parmowski, the winner in the heat of the Rookies Brigade, Alicia Parmowski, in 5th overall, caught out in that pre-final with a few incidents. Hopefully she could charge her way back. Dylan Briley and Will Vincent struggling on row 9, and Dylan Reed right to the back in the end, along with Jack Rigg. Both drivers really struggling in that pre-final. But Dylan Reed is going to be the type of driver who will try and fight his way through from that back row. Several drivers all in for a very good run here at the start of the race. And the tension is mounting here at Hooton Park, the 6th round of the 2018 birelART UK Series. One of the premier karting categories, and certainly the premier one-make category in Great Britain. Fantastic racing in the shadow of the Vauxhall car plant, the home of the Astra. This is proper car building country, this, as we are just a stone's throw away from Vauxhall's manufacturing plant, and not too far away from the city of Chester, the furthest north that we come in the 2018 calendar. It certainly won't be the furthest north we come in the 2019 calendar. We'll go even further north to Rowrah next year. That's the only date on next year's calendar that will be confirmed. There's still a lot of uncertainty over 2019 because there's some big announcements coming for the birelART UK Karting Series for 2019. Some big changes, all positive and all definitely high in credence, ready for the 2019 season. And it'll change a lot of things for the positive heading into next season. And we're getting really excited about what those changes will mean for the future prosperity of the birelART UK Series. But certainly this year, the hard work of the Alpha Live team helping us with their fantastic coverage we've had for all but one rounds of the championship this year has definitely contributed to that. But the championship is gaining in status and profile every weekend, and we're going to get a really exciting final challenge from the juniors here this weekend. Andy Cox, the man who controls the ship, deep in conversation with the man who controls the action on track, Matt Daniels, clerk of the course, and Megan, our pit starter. A fantastic team that we have at birelART. Lots of established faces in the karting world and new faces all gelling together to make one big happy family. And there's been some amazing racing over the course of the season as a result of everybody doing their job beautifully. The mechanics in the paddock, some of whom are birelART staff, some of those of whom, of course, are mates and dads of the drivers. But there's going to be a really exciting end to the season for these guys at Wilton Mill, because by then, not only will we be able to go for a couple of title fights, but we'll also know the future prosperity of the birelART UK Karting Series, and there's going to be some amazing things to come. So the drivers will get themselves back up to speed once again in the junior final. Who will emulate Oakley Keatley and go on to win a birelART UK Series karting final this weekend at Hooton Park in the Junior 100 category? Could be any one of the drivers in the top 10. We know the sort of speed they're carrying. Could even be one of the drivers outside the top 10. It's not the easiest circuit to overtake on Hooton Park, but if you get into a good slipstream, you could certainly make good progress. And there is a good draft around here, so there'll be plenty of drivers wanting to make their progress further forward. So we'll see how things progress for the Junior 100 final. 2 minutes to go till race time. And the drivers are obviously getting very, very nervous for the off. They all want to be at the sharp end. 130 points in the offing for the winner of this race. Harry Graham has 8 wins to his name. Callum Gunning has 7. The only other 2 drivers to take a victory this year, Scott Huntley and Dylan Reed. Scott Huntley on the second row of the starting grid, of course. Dylan Reed fighting his way back from the last row. And Harry Graham, the championship leader, going off row 4, the inside line. Callum Gunning going for his 8th win of the season to match Harry Graham's tally from pole position. So this could be a very interesting race, with the battle in the championship fight still very unpredictable, very close, and it's not really clear who is going to have the best shot going into the final 2 weekends of the season. But thus far, 17 races into the 2018 campaign for the juniors. As we get to the penultimate minute, 1 minute to go before the drivers are sent out onto the circuit for their fantastic 14 minutes plus 1 lap encounter. It's always the biggest gap between the cadet and junior races, of course, because the cadet race is only 12 minutes plus 1 lap in length, whereas all the other finals are 14 minutes plus 1 lap in length. And don't forget that over the course of the season, drop scores have to be taken into account. So the drivers drop their worst heat, pre-final and final 1 score from the season. Prior to this, Harry Graham could drop a 2nd place and a 4th place from his performances at Llandau. So now he will drop the 2 races he's had here in this particular weekend. So that should improve Harry Graham's score quite a bit, actually. So having a bad weekend at this stage is not necessarily a nightmare for him. But the whistle goes and the engine revs rise as we go ready to race in the birelART Junior 100 final. Callum Gunning versus Morgan Cole. The green flag flies and the drivers are sent out, but Toby Baldry is having some difficulties as he goes out onto the circuit now. They're trying to get Toby Baldry started. Andy Cox runs over to help. He may be the championship coordinator, but he's always eager to help drivers get themselves back into the operation as Baldry and Reed now go out onto the circuit. But the 2 of them held up and delayed in their attempts to get started. So not the easiest of starts, unfortunately, to this race for Baldry and Reed. So they're going to have to try their best to get themselves further up the order if they can. It's going to be a very difficult race for them now. They know that. So it looks like Mummy Taylor has hacked into Richard's YouTube account and is watching Nick from home. Excellent. Well done. But Nicky Taylor will now start from the 2nd row of the grid, as we know, on the 3rd position slot. So now we'll make sure and see that Toby Baldry and Dylan Reed will be able to take up their positions on the starting grid again, because obviously they're going to have to hold them in formation for quite a while we wait for Baldry and Dylan Reed to take up their places. I think we're going to be okay, though, because Harry Graham has already left a space free for Toby Baldry to take up his place once more. They will knit their way through. Give them the space, guys. Allow Toby Baldry to get back into his starting position in front of Harry Graham. Come on, guys. Let him through, let him through. That's it. They are trying to help him get through, so well done, guys. And that's nice. So Toby Baldry will get into his position, so we can go racing from the off. But they are going to get sent around again, just to be sure. So I think that's the right decision. It was a bit touch and go, and the driver's obviously having to let Toby Baldry back into his starting position, so it made a lot of sense just to give them that extra bit of precaution to allow them to go round again. So, who is going to be the race winner of the final? Callum Gunning on the front row of the grid, with Morgan Cole alongside him on that front row in what is turning out to be his best weekend in the championship. 2 second places already for Morgan Cole. Can he make it 3? A podium would definitely give Morgan Cole plenty to smile about in any of the 3 positions. He would be elated with that. But Callum Gunning wants to level Harry Graham for victories in this 2018 season. Gunning, Cole, Taylor, Huntley, Baldry, Parkinson, Graham, Cunliffe. So it's Baldry and Cunliffe, then Graham and Parkinson, Gartside and Ramlal. Out of the final turn. Engine revs rise. Matt Daniels makes sure they're nice and safe. And away we go. Cracking start from Morgan Cole. But Taylor's got the best getaway into second place. Baldry trying to come past Cole. But again, Morgan Cole hangs on to third position round the outside of turn 2. And there's an off further back. Who's that that's gone backwards down the order? Somebody's dropped a long way down. I think that looks to me, I can't quite make out who that was. But Cole has got his arm in the air. A little bit irritated with something that Toby Baldry has done, I think. Into third place goes Baldry, in behind Nicky Taylor, and in behind Cole it's Harry Graham. Graham in the 5th place. So the race is now well and truly on for him. Parkinson in 6th. Cole runs wide out of the final hairpin. But Gunning, Taylor, Baldry, Cole and Graham. Here comes Graham looking for Cole, but he doesn't get through. So who was it that dropped a long way down the order? Trying to figure out, because Davison and Whitehouse have dropped a long way back. Now it's Taylor for the lead. Taylor goes for the lead on Gunning, and he's through. Baldry's alongside him though. Baldry trying to come around the long way, but Taylor leads. Baldry second. Gunning down to 3rd. Graham is through to 4th past Morgan Cole and Parkinson in 6th. But Nicky Taylor hits the front with Toby Baldry in 2nd. Callum Gunning's now got his main championship rival behind him, Harry Graham. So just when we thought Gunning might get a hat-trick, Taylor and Baldry have got other ideas. And now Graham, Gunning's main rival in the championship, is right behind him. Here comes Baldry up the inside of Taylor. Taylor's not going to let him get through. Brilliant bit of driving. Oh, and off goes Cole. Cole's gone off at turn 3. He's absolutely livid. Oh, Morgan Cole was balloting for 3rd position, and it's all gone wrong. So now Baldry in 2nd, Gunning 3rd, and Graham 4th. And Cunliffe is through into 5th place in front of Parkinson and Ramlau. Guardside is next up. And then it's Joe Sheppy in front of Harvey and Huntley. Huntley was the one who ended up going backwards down the field. Not sure what happened to Scott Huntley, but he definitely ran wide of that first lap. And now Graham is in there behind the in there behind the 108 of Callum Gunning. Alicia Barmowski's got Morgan Cole behind her. As Scott Huntley challenges for Tom Harvey, in there behind Sheppy, who's in there behind Gartside, who's in there behind Ramlau. The leaders come through. Nicky Taylor in the lead, Baldry 2nd, Gunning 3rd, and in 4th place, that is the 3 of Harry Graham. Can Nicky Taylor finally get his first win in the birelART UK Series Juniors? He's leading the way at the moment. Baldry 2nd, Gunning 3rd, Graham 4th, Cunliffe 5th. Ramlau is still the leading rookie. Now he's in 7th, in behind Parkinson. A lot of the big names in this championship campaign are struggling. Huntley is down in 11th. Harvey is down in 10th. Who else has dropped a long way back? Morgan Cole now slips to 13th, trying to make his way back forward. Dylan Reed in 14th. And of course we've got Davison and Whitehouse further down the order, but Nicky Taylor is leading in the juniors. Baldry 2nd, trying to hang it out in front of Gunning. Here comes Gunning for the move. Gunning going to try and get past, but doesn't get through. Graham had a good shot at Gunning there as well. So they continue down the straight towards turn 4. Taylor, Baldry, Gunning, Graham, Cunliffe, Parkinson, Ramlau, Sheppy, Harvey, Gardside and Huntley ahead of Barmowski at 12th. So the drivers knitting their way through, trying to keep themselves out of trouble, out of harm's way. But Nicky Taylor is your race leader. Baldry 2nd from Gunning and Graham, then Cunliffe, Parkinson, Ramlau, Sheppy, Harvey, Gardside, Huntley and Barmowski. So there's a long way to go in this race. 10 minutes to go plus the additional lap. But it's Nicky Taylor who holds the initial lead of this race. Now, where is Morgan Cole? He is closing in on Alicia Barmowski. Problems with his nose cone, as you can see. It's flapping in the breeze a little bit, a little further down than it should be for Morgan Cole. He's trying to get it back off his knees, I think. But he is still there running around in 13th. Not quite where Morgan Cole wanted to be. But he's still having a great weekend, and those 2 second places cannot be taken away from him now. So here comes Taylor, Baldry, Gunning, Graham. Graham is actually being a little bit conservative at this point. He's not going to lose ground where he doesn't have to. He's just sitting in behind Gunning. He knows that at the moment he can drop the earlier 2 heats and still have a 4th and 2nd place from Landau counted to his final score, while still relatively ready. That's Whitehouse. Whitehouse has gone over the hairpin. Whitehouse has gone over the hairpin, but he doesn't want outside assistance. He wants to try and get back onto the circuit. But it looks to me as though he's not going to be able to get there. So Whitehouse, sadly, is going to be out of the race. Well, that's a shame. But as they come through, yellow flags fly at turn 3. And George Whitehouse, sadly, is out of this race. That is a real shame. There's Morgan Cole, having got onto the back of Alicia Parmowski now. But it's Nikki Taylor who leads the way in front of Toby Baldry, Callum Gunning and Harry Graham. We could end up with a very interesting podium finish here. There's Parmowski, still trying to fight back, and Morgan Cole dives to the inside. Good move there from Morgan Cole. He is not done. He is not defeated. He's still gunning for it. Meanwhile, further up the road, we've got a bit of a tussle between Huntley and Gartside as they've both got past Vijay Ramlal. So Ramlal is not safe and sound as the leading rookie yet, because although Parmowski did it in race 1 and Ramlal did it in race 2, Ramlal is being caught now by Parmowski, who is now right on the back of Morgan Cole. If I was Alicia, I'd sit right behind Morgan and gain as much ground as possible. Behind her, though, is Dylan Reed. And Dylan Reed is up to 14th place. So he's obviously trying to make up for lost time as well. But Nikki Taylor leads the race. Harry Graham in 4th behind his championship rival Callum Gunning. In between them is Toby Baldry in 2nd. Scott Huntley still pushing after Gartside. Morgan Cole has got past Parmowski, as we know, but Parmowski's got Dylan Reed to deal with. Nikki Taylor has been caught again by Toby Baldry. So Nikki Taylor, Baldry, Gunning, Graham, Cunliffe. Any one of these top 5 could still get the podium. Any one of these top 5 could still get the victory, but Gunning is looking very defensive to Graham now. Graham coming down the main straight, in through turn 1. No change for the position. A lot of marbles flicking up all over the circuit. So Taylor leads, Baldry 2nd, Gunning 3rd. Graham still sat in 4th position, no panic yet. He doesn't need to worry about anything too much for the moment. Championship-wise, this is still Harry Graham in the lead of the title fight. 2nd place, Toby Baldry, getting closer to Nikki Taylor. Knows that he could challenge him for the race victory. Still a long way to go. We're at the halfway stage of the race now. Just under 7 minutes plus the additional lap to go. And Nikki Taylor's got the giraffe, Toby Baldry, right behind him. So cool because Toby Baldry is so massively tall for his age. He's there in 2nd place. Here comes Gunning. Has a bit of a look for Baldry. Needs to do that because Graham is getting very close in behind him. Graham's going to get him on the undercut. Side by side. And Cunliffe goes for the move on Graham. Doesn't get the move stuck. And as a result, we're now getting Parkinson, Sheppy and Harvey joining the train. And here goes Graham on the inside. Oh, Graham goes for the move on Gunning. Has to slam on the brakes and hang back. And now he's got Cunliffe breathing down his neck. Then we've got Parkinson, Sheppy and Harvey, 6th, 7th and 8th. Very close in behind. Well, Morgan Cole's got past Vijay Ramlal now, so it's Ramlal versus Parmowski for the top rookie spot as Cunliffe makes the move on Graham. Cunliffe gets into P4. Good overtake there from Sam Cunliffe. A very good race from him in this one as he gets himself through. Sam Cunliffe's got a bit of an Iron Senna impression, but I like to think of him as the Kimi Räikkönen of the field. He doesn't really say too much, but gets on with it. He's very fast on the track. He doesn't need to be talkative when he's in the cart. Meanwhile, Baldry still all over the back of Nikki Taylor. Fastest lap of his race for Callum Gunning, and likewise for Zach Parkinson. Baldry very close behind Nikki Taylor. Taylor still leads. Baldry 2nd. Less than 5 minutes to go. Looks to me like Scott Huntley's on the move, making up a place or two as he challenges Ben Gartside, trying to get his move on the way through the 4 and 5 complex as they try and close up on the leaders. In fact, the leaders have now caught each other up, so Huntley's not out of this yet. If he can get past Gartside and tag onto the back of the leading train, then Huntley could still make up some good positions. 4.5 minutes plus 1 lap still remain in this encounter. Nikki Taylor checks over his shoulder very quickly. Doesn't want to let Toby Baldry think the invitation is there to get on the inside, though. Gunning 3rd, Cunliffe 4th, Graham 5th, Parkinson 6th, Sheppy and Harvey, then Gartside and Huntley. Through the 2 left-hand squares, up to the S's, through the right, through the left. Nikki Taylor still running well, and into the final hairpin turn 8. Short circuit this one, not particularly long at all. But over the line, Nicky Taylor's got the advantage over Baldry, who sets his personal fastest lap. Cunliffe does the same. And Gunning is actually slipping off the back of Taylor and Baldry just a tad. He doesn't want to do that too often. Cunliffe knows it. Cunliffe is going to go for the move on the inside. Through it to third. Sam Cunliffe breaks through to the podium once again. So Cunliffe now in P3 in front of Gunning and Graham. This is good news for Harry Graham. He doesn't want to be too far behind he doesn't want to be too far behind Callum Gunning in the mix. So a chance to come through. And I think that's Scott Huntley having got past Ben Gartside as well. Yes, it is. He's got through past Gartside further back. So if these guys continue to battle, Huntley can close in on the tail of that field. Gartside is now falling into the clutches of Dylan Reed, who's in 11th. Cole is 12th. Ramlal is 13th, just 2/10 ahead of Alicia Parmowski. Those two battling for the top rookie spot. But Nicky Taylor is 3 minutes plus the additional lap away from taking his first race win in birelART UK Series Junior. He's been questing after this for so long. Up the inside goes Parkinson on Graham. Parkinson gets through into 5th and signals to Harry, come on, let's get the top 4. And as these guys continue to squabble, Scott Huntley is actually making up progress. The gap down to 5 seconds between him and the race leader. So Huntley is gaining on Taylor, Baldry et al. So Taylor leads, Baldry second, Cunliffe third, Gunning fourth, Parkinson fifth, Graham sixth. Then it is Sheppy and Harvey. And then in 9th place, Scott Huntley, having pulled 2.3 clear of Dylan Reed, who's now into 10th. Cole is into 11th, ahead of Gartside, Ramlau and Parmowski. Rigg is next, then Davison, Briley, Berry. We think Vincent is in that mix somewhere as well. And then, of course, our retiree, George Whitehouse. Taylor and Baldry both set their personal best laps of the race. Nail-biting stuff for 2 to go. Here goes Cunliffe. Cunliffe goes for second and gets there. Sam Cunliffe is unstoppable. What if he could catch Taylor and go for the win? Sam Cunliffe is just getting on with this now. Taylor looks back and now he realises that's not Toby Baldry. That is Sam Cunliffe. And Cunliffe has got plenty of time to do this. They seem to have made the perfect setting with the pressures. Here goes Cunliffe for the lead. He's through. Sam Cunliffe takes the lead. And now Nicky Taylor's got pressure for Baldry. Baldry overshoots. Gunning's going one way. Graham's going the other. Parkinson going with him. And they've all found a way past Baldry. Oh, Toby Baldry tumbles down to 6th position. Baldry gets back on the inside of Graham and takes 5th place back. But Sam Cunliffe is now the race leader with a minute to go. Graham back on the inside of Baldry. Harvey's going to try and go with him. Sheppy's with him as well. Huntley's trying to catch them all. But Sam Cunliffe has so quietly got on with the job, worked his way forward, got himself into the lead, and now is stretching out a gap. There goes Parkinson on the inside of Baldry. Graham gets there too. But Baldry's going to get him on the undercut. And that's Zach Parkinson now through into P4. Great racing from Zach Parkinson. Now, if he could close up on Callum Gunning, he could get a podium. And we're going into the penultimate lap. So now it's Cunliffe versus Taylor and Gunning for the victory. Parkinson 4th, Baldry 5th, Graham 6th, Harvey 7th, Sheppy is 8th, and Huntley is 9th. This is the penultimate lap. Any more choice overtakes? Well, there goes Sheppy up the inside of Harvey. That's for 7th. And they're side by side again, so Harvey trying to get alongside. And Baldry goes for Parkinson, it doesn't work. Graham's going to try and get on the way through as well. But Graham slots back in, out of the S's. So now the leaders are away clear. Graham on the inside of Baldry. Here comes Cunliffe, Taylor and Gunning. Taylor's not giving up on the win. He's got to go for it on Sam Cunliffe as Harvey goes for the inside of Sheppy and he gets 7th place in a turn 2. Runs a bit deep. Sheppy will get him on the undercut. What about the leaders? Baldry hanging on in front of Graham. But I think Nicky Taylor is going to be denied again. So close to the victory. But for the second time in his career, Sam Cunliffe He's going to get a victory in a birelART Junior final. This time it wasn't clever thinking. It was no holds barred fighting. Sam Cunliffe wins. Brilliant. Brilliant from Cunliffe. His second victory in birelART Juniors, even greater than his first. Sam Cunliffe is the victor. Absolutely fantastic. Taylor is second, Gunning is third. Parkinson in a sensational fourth place. He'll be jubilant with that. Baldry, fifth position. Graham in sixth, the championship leader. Losing points in this one. Harvey, Sheppy, Huntley and Reed. Cole outside the top 10. Disappointment for him. But for Sam Cunliffe, what a result. Just quietly picking them off one by one by one. And Sam Cunliffe is a worthy winner here at Hooton Park. And he becomes the fifth different race winner in juniors in 2018. What a result for Sam Cunliffe. Absolutely magic. Well, that was the junior final of the season, I think you'll find. Sam Cunliffe, absolutely ecstatic with that, I'm sure. Nicky Taylor second, so near, and yet so far it's second. But Sam Cunliffe, Daddy Cunliffe is there with him. Absolutely magnificent result. But this is what Sam Cunliffe does. He's not going to punch the air. He's not going to bounce up and down with delight. He's just, well, that was another race. But it's his second ever victory in the birelART UK Series and in the Junior Brigade. And he takes the win from Nicky Taylor and Callum Gunning. How does he feel? Well, just another day. And here comes the helmet off for Sam Cunliffe. Daddy's absolutely ecstatic. Blows the air out of his cheeks. I bet that he didn't breathe for most of those last three laps. Nicky Taylor and Dad are very happy. Second place. That's his best ever finish in the birelART UK Series. And he worked so hard, so nearly a victory. He'll be back at Shennington, no doubt. Well, what a great battle between those two. Both of them getting their best ever finishes in birelART UK. Callum Gunning is back on the winners' rostrum again after the first two wins, and he's made some ground on Harry Graham. But those last two rounds of the championship at Shennington and Wilton Mill are going to be one heck of a fight between those two. But Callum Gunning is catching Harry Graham in the title fight now, and with 2 weekends to go, it's game on. Let's look back at some of the highlights from that junior final. A truly stupendous drive there from Sam Cunliffe. Such an amazing drive. I actually think that's better than his performance last year that gave him the E-plate win. Here they come. Again, a review of the start. Cole given a bit of a challenge. Nicky Taylor getting that perfect start into second. Baldry tried to get into third place past Cole, but Cole was having none of it. As the race evolved, well, Cole had his difficulties trying to stay in the top four. Graham made his bid. Nicky Taylor's move, though, absolutely astonishing into the lead of the race. Baldry following him in. It was Baldry then trying to go for the move on Nicky Taylor. That was as close as he came to the win. And then the off for Morgan Cole. That was sickening to watch. But his brilliant weekend, he still had a few good moves in him. This move on Parmowski was quite a good one. Just made sure he got that one done beautifully. The second position battle was anybody's for the taking, really. But the fact that Sam Cunliffe was sat there in fifth position for most of that race, just allowing it all to happen. Didn't get his first bid on Graham, then eventually got him for fourth. And then his move for third position. That was a truly strong run on Callum Gunning. That's the man who's won 7 times this year. He'd already passed the man who'd won 8 times this year into third place. Then he just waited, picked the perfect moment, closed down the gap to Baldry. That was a nice one as well. Parkinson on Graham. But then this was the move that really set the ball in motion for Sam Cunliffe. This is when he knew the win was on. Got his move on Baldry, realised that Taylor was just there, and then literally only a few corners later came out of the final turn, realised that Taylor was vulnerable out of the final hairpin, dived for the move, and never looked back. Winning moment for Sam Cunliffe for his second ever victory in the birelART UK Series Junior Championship. What a performance. Sam Cunliffe was never matched after that point. A good run from Gunning, but a brilliant run from Zach Parkinson. For me, one of the stars of the race, that Parkinson. Graham unable to deal with Baldry in the end. A good move there in the final tour as Sheppy battled with Harvey right at the final stages. But really exciting stuff. Baldry absolutely determined to come through. That man, Callum Gunning, closer to Harry Graham in the championship fight. But Sam Cunliffe, a very worthy winner. So we'll move on to the juniors. We will start with our leading novice. Well, the novice race has always been exciting in 2018, and it's been shared between two drivers for most of this year. But now we have a new face as the leading rookie in juniors in 2018. He's finally got there through sheer hard work and determination, and he's totally earned it today. The 99, Vijay Ramlal! So much hard work this season for Vijay. Getting a trophy off your sister, not bad, eh? Very good, fantastic performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your top rookie, Vijay Ramlal, hasn't he earned it, ladies and gents? Really good work. So to our overall podium in third position, good to see him on the rostrum once again, and his two earlier victories give him right back into the championship fight. The 108, Callum Gunning! Well done, Callum. Good to see you back on the dais, mate, and surely there's a few more of those before the end of the season. So nearly a first overall victory, but certainly his best ever drive in the birelART UK Series. I'm sure you'll all agree. A fantastic effort in second place. The number 4, Nicky Taylor! So close. That first win is not far away. It's going to be a great second half of the season, but his first ever victory came 11 months ago after a tricky race that strategy really paid into account. This time, he fought for it tooth and nail. From 5th up to 1st, fought for it all the way. A brilliant second victory. 118, Sam Cunliffe! Another great job from Sam, and a stunning victory. Really good effort there. A brilliant junior final. One of the best races of the season, the junior final this time. Let's get all 4 of you to squeeze up onto the top step if you can for a joint photo. See if we can get you all in there together. A brilliant effort from the juniors today, I think you'll find. Ladies and gentlemen, great result. Give them up again for Vijay Ramlal, Callum Gunning, Nicky Taylor, and your winner, Sam Cunliffe. Great work from the juniors.